how's it going? It's Ron Felton here again from Home Inspection Services, and today we're taking out a water heater so that way we can repair this water heater stand that has some dry rot damage. When the water heater was replaced recently, it was not fixed, so we're actually going to take the water heater back out today and fix the stand and put it back in. But this is actually the same process as you would do if you were changing out a water heater and putting in a brand new one. And so what we've done already is we've taken a water hose and we hooked it up to the drain outlet. And this is the same thing you would do if you were going to drain your water heater on a regular basis just for maintenance reasons. And we hooked the water hose up here, but before we open the valve, on the inlet side to the water heater, there is actually a valve. And you might have to actually open that valve and close it a couple of times in order to make sure that it's shut all the way. And you'll know if it's shut because you'll hear water running in and out of the water heater if it's not shut all the way. Make sure that valve is shut good. That will make sure that water doesn't get back inside of the water heater. And once that's shut, then we're going to open this valve up and we're actually going to drain the water heater. Now, because of the intricacies of how things tend to vacuum, and much the same as if you took a cup and stuck it upside down in your sink water and you pulled it up and you can feel it have sort of a suction on there, we need to be able to open the water heater up somewhere else or it won't drain properly. And we've done that by disconnecting the lines up there, and I've taken the lines and reconnected them back together with a 3/4 inch nipple. And the reason I did that is now, if there's any dripping or water coming back through the line, then it's just going to be encapsulated in the system. And so now we have a system tied together. If somebody turns the water on, it's actually just going to drain back through itself. And so the lines are disconnected. We've taken off the drain line. This is a TPR valve. What that is a temperature pressure relief valve. All water heaters need to have this on there. And what this does, in case the water heater for some reason gets too hot and it doesn't shut off properly at the right temperature, we don't want to turn it into a bomb, which it would be if you didn't have a temperature relief valve. And so we want to make sure that that valve is not just sticking out somewhere or pointing towards the floor. We want to actually make sure it's draining somewhere, because if not, when it does go off, somebody's going to get burned. We're going to go over just for a minute here the venting on the water heater, because it's pretty important, especially in the location of where the water heater's at. Here we're in the garage, and so we're not affecting the inside air of the house. The water heater has to be at a minimum of 18 inches off the floor. When it lights, any fumes from gasoline or the car or anything that are combustible could be ignited by the water heater, and so they figure if it's 18 inches up off the floor and those gases settle, we're at less of a risk of an explosion of some sort. Also, the garage is well ventilated. Typically you don't have a sealed garage, so we're not worried about the carbon monoxide issues, but we still need to vent the water heater out. And we do that by making sure we have a metal roof jack, and as you can see, we're going into a piece of pipe that's actually a piece of asbestos pipe. There's no harm in the asbestos because it's intact and we're not tearing into it, so it's not going to cause anybody to have mesothelioma or whatever, so we don't have to worry about that. No one's going to die today. But we do need to make sure that it's vented. And so one thing that we do is we make sure it has adequate clearances, and we make sure that it's sealed in every area. And so I've already taken the screws out, and this pipe should just slide up slightly. And when it does, we're just going to rest it over here somewhere, so it's not going to fall down on us while we're working. And it's going to just kind of sit there. And now we can actually remove the rest of the vent cap from the top of the water heater. And when we take the water heater off, it's not going to be in the way of anything. And so we'll be back again in a minute with just a couple more tips. In a couple of minutes, we're going to take off these two straps, and we're actually going to, we're going to turn the gas off, which is already off. Gas valve here and gas valve here. You don't want to miss that. You don't want the water heater running while it's draining, because it'll just be heating up the tank. So make sure you turn off the gas, turn off the valve, and what we're going to do now is we're going to grab a wrench. I'm going to reach down here and get this wrench. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and take off this gas line. This doesn't have tape on it. It's a flared fitting, so it actually seats itself on this little nipple. We're going to fold that back, and then we're going to loosen up these and pull these straps off, and that'll be it. The water heater will actually come off at that point, and then we'll rebuild the stand. So we'll be back in a few minutes with some more.